Hello, in this video we're taking a look at why you can't fix driving anxiety with logic. And if you have a look at the sign coming up, this yellow sign on the left of the screen now that says repairs to bridge, that's probably exactly the kind of thing that could trigger off your fear of bridges or high speed or whatever it is that you're scared of when driving. So why can't you fix it with logic? Well, quite simply, as I've explained in my many other videos, the problem lies in your subconscious, not your conscious. So your conscious won't do anything. Let's explain this in more detail so it makes more sense. Your brain is split into two halves. The left side of your brain controls logic, so it's things like numbers, language, reasoning, common sense. That's all left brain thinking, but that is not where your problem lives. So you see, what most people do wrong, and you see people who go for CBT and traditional therapy, is they all focus on the left side of the brain, and they focus on thinking, why have I got this problem? Why can't I drive? Why can't I just do it? Well, they're all logical thoughts, so they won't get you anywhere. What you need to do is focus on the right hand side of your brain, which is where your emotions, feeling, your artistic thoughts, all those kind of things lie. All the kind of interesting emotions, feelings, sensations, that's where your problem lives. That's why when you see something like this big bridge coming up, you might have a massive panic attack and be melting down, especially when there's nowhere to pull over. So let's pause the video just here, and this is the kind of thing that people say to me. They say, look Paul, just the sight of this will terrify some people. I'm sorry about that, but that's just going to prove what I'm saying. If you're finding this video upsetting, logic won't work. It's because we're triggering off the right side of your brain. Now, one thing people often say to me is, I know that when I drive on a bridge, it's going to collapse. And if it doesn't collapse, then I'm going to go through this barrier, and I'm going to go through the other barrier, and I'm going to take the plunge. You can just see there's a river there, quite a dirty looking river, but people often use this phrase, take the plunge. Now let's look at how you would fix this with traditional therapy, like CBT. They would say to you things like, well, look how thick the barrier is. You're never going to get through that. And even if you did, look at this other barrier. You're never going to get through that. So just tell yourself, I'm safe. The barrier's there to protect me. That won't work. You won't do anything, because the number of people I've worked with who have said, I know I'm going to get through the barrier. Now, that barrier could stop this car easily. This car, weighs 1.5 tons. I don't know what these are measured, what they're made to take, but that's a substantial barrier. There is no way that the car I'm in, at the speed I'm doing, could ever, look at it, how could you ever go through both barriers and end up in the river? But people say, no, I know it's going to happen. And this is what people say that's interesting. They say, look, I know it won't happen. I'm not stupid. I know I won't go through the barrier, but I know I will. And I just know, I feel it, that I'm going to. And even here, there's an extra barrier. And I've actually done this with people. I've shown them this video. And I've said, right, these concrete blocks, now there's different types, but these ones look like the type that are made to withstand roughly about 28 tons. They weigh 28 tons. Because I saw one once when I was walking, and on the top it had 28 tons stamped on it. Now you tell me how a Ford Fiesta that weighs about 1.3 to 1.5 tons is going to go through a 28 ton block of concrete, then through a metal barrier, and then through another bridge support, and then through another metal barrier. There are 4 layers of protection there. And people will always say to me, look, I know it's not going to happen, but I just can't stop feeling that it will. This is the whole point. You know that it's not going to happen really, logically, but your problem isn't logical. Just think that man there is scared. He doesn't look scared. He's climbing up in that scaffolding because he's probably not been triggered. I don't know. He's not been triggered. You are. So why do you have this thing, this emotion from the right side of your brain? Well, it's because at some point in your life, something has happened that you're triggering off when you drive on a bridge. And you may find now you start to feel better because the main part of the bridge has gone and you're actually still on the bridge. The water's still there, but you are kind of halfway over or so. And people say it makes no sense. When I'm halfway over, I feel fine. The fear goes. That's because you know you're safe. You're coming off the other side of the bridge. So it's very often caused by something from your past. I mean, it has to be something from your past, right? Because you haven't lived the future yet. So something from your past is firing off in your mind. And it can be anything. People say, well, what can it be? Anything. Now, it could be something as silly as when you were a kid, you tripped over a doorstep and hurt your leg. And people say, well, that makes no sense. That's our point. You see, if you're saying it makes no sense, well, that's our point of the video. It's not about making logical sense. It won't make logical sense, but it makes emotional sense because you see, memories are stored in both the logic recollection of what happened, which is what you remember, and the feelings, but you often don't recall the feelings until they're fired up by driving in a situation like the one you've seen in this video. So logic will not work. You simply can't fix it with logic because it's not logical. So you're trying to fix an illogical thing with logic and it will not work. Now, yes, there are ways that you can use logic to get to the emotion. So you might recall the driving over a bridge, the falling over a step, whatever it was. You might recall that in a logical way. And that then brings up the emotion. But it's the emotion that you want, not the logic. And if you're thinking, well, what's that got to do with anything? That's just how it works. Your old feelings come out now. And if you're thinking, well, what's that got to do with now? Nothing. That's the whole point. It's nothing to do with now. This is an old feeling, an old emotion that belongs in the past, but you're bringing it out now. So you see, you've got to just release the old pressure, the old memory, the old feeling. And then even if you think of it when you're driving, which you won't be aware of, you won't know you're thinking of it because it all happens subconsciously. But then you'll release it and you won't have the problem anymore. And if it doesn't make any sense, that's our point of this video. It won't make sense. Until you're trained in this stuff and you have it explained to you and you've done it over and over and over again, it will make no sense whatsoever. So the point of this video is, don't worry if your problem makes no sense, because it won't. Check out these other videos of mine on the screen now, which will explain even more. And if you'd like to work with me one-to-one online from anywhere in the world, contact me through my website, firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.